Sup, lads? Today we're going to be talking about the concept in that results are always guaranteed, but timing is not. So let's say you want to make $1 billion. You want like a bill in your bank account, right? Now, the problem is that some people might be able to do this in like 10 years. For instance, Mark Zuckerberg. However, for another person, it might take them 1,000 years. So what that means is that you will simply die before the result actually ever occurs, right? And now what we want to do is the value of money is more valuable today than it is in the future. And this is why in finance, there's this concept called the present value of money and the future value of money. And then to find out what the present value of the money is, you apply a discount to the future value of the money. It's better to have $1 million right now than it is in 1 year from now. Right? It just is, right? Conceptually. So the problem is that we need to accelerate the rate with which you acquire the money, right? So if you think about rich people, it's like, oh yeah, that guy made $1 million. But you say he made $1 million over the course of 30 years, it's not magnificent at all. In fact, it's actual fucking poverty, right? But if you make $1 million in a month, now you're rich. You see what I mean? So it's just compressed time scales. Now, what we need to understand is that, well, how is money, particularly in the sense of you're running a business, how do we compress the rate with which it is realized? So if we can draw the conclusion that all business results obviously come from business inputs, such as how many leads are you reaching out to, how many people are coming to your website, how many calls are getting booked. This is very obvious, right? Therefore, if we want to compress the results, we must compress the volume of inputs, right? So there's a concept I would like to introduce to you that I like to call an instance. So what is an instance? And an instance is basically a snapshot of reality of how your business exists at any given point. Now, let me give you an example, right? So let's say you have some offer. This is what your offer is. This is the value proposition that somebody gets. And then you're sending cold emails. What is the lead list? What is the script? And then you're getting people on calls. What is on a scale of 1 to 10, your ability to close sales calls? What is the sales process behind that? What is the video sales letter on your website? So you have all these variables that make up the holistic system that is your business, right? And at any given point, all these variables exist at some state, and that combination of all of those is called an instance. Now, what you need to understand is that there exists some instance where you make $1 million a month. Like there just is, right? There's something in reality. There's some combination of actions and fuckery that can occur that result in you, in fact, making $1 million within a single 30-day time frame, right? That is a thing. So what we need to do is, in that instance might be like 1 out of 10,000, right? And this is why you see some people get really lucky with something, because they just so happen to hit an instance that is particularly good, right? So the rate of that 1 in 10,000, how do we make it one out of 1? Like how do we increase the probability of success as close to 100% as possible? Right? So, and by following very simple math, we can come to the conclusion that the way that you can increase your success probability as high as possible is to just increase the rate with which you realize instances, right? So that means you make a shit ton of VSLs, a shit ton of cold outreach with a shit ton of different leads in a shit ton of different cold email scripts and a bunch of different offers, and you have this and this and this and this, and you test instances so absurdly fast that you just hit so say every instance is a 1 out of 10,000 chance. It's like magnificently good, and you just keep ramming new instances. You get so many more chances than somebody who never tests their instances. You see what I mean? That's how this works, right? You just test instances absurdly fast, right? So it might be a good idea I'm going to make the assumption that everyone watching this, if you're not a millionaire, you would prefer to be a millionaire, right? So I think a very useful practice for us all to engage in right now is to try what are the traits of millionaires, and that is the next section of this video, right? And I'm going to give you guys something because I tell you to test all these instances, right? But sometimes you don't know how to test the instance because you don't know how to make an offer, you don't know how to make a VSL, you don't know how to run ads, you don't know how to run a sales call. You don't have a vast array of capabilities, right? So you can't test enough instances because you need the capabilities to test the instances in the first place, right? So I'm gonna tell you something that every single millionaire I know has. Every single one. There is not an exception to this at all, ever, right? Every single millionaire I know or have ever met or you will ever meet in your life has a trait called agency. Now, agency is defined as the ability to handle a wide range of tasks in situations. Now, let me help you out with this. They have a trait that I like to describe as figure it the fuck out ability, right? So it's not that you know how to solve every problem. It's that you know how to figure out how to solve every problem. You're not going to know how to do everything, but you can know how to figure out how to solve everything. That is agency, right? So if somebody comes in and you see something like, oh, this problem just happened to the business, like this thing is wrong with it. Other people will be like, oh, well, yeah, you know that sucks. I guess I'm shutting down, or just some shit like, oh, I don't know how to do that, so I just can't do this. It's like, no. I don't think you understand. You can just go simply acquire a skill and like learn how to fucking solve something. Like you can just do that. Like maybe you don't know how to code stuff. You can just go learn how to do that. Like you can learn a new language. You can learn how to build a funnel or operate a sales call. You can do anything. Like you literally can do that, right? That is agency. It is figure it the fuck out ability. Like figure shit out. Like if something goes wrong or you encounter some uncertainty, you know how to do something, figure it the fuck out. And then you're good, right? That's all you need. You need to become the person who regularly figures shit out. And then over a long enough time frame, you know a lot of shit. And only people who know a lot of shit make all of the money. Do you see what I mean? Like this is how this works, right? So the problem with this is that, like say you're running a business and you encounter some issue, right? So there's only two ways of operation in the world, right? You can only be existing in two different states. It's certainty and uncertainty. If you were an entrepreneur, you were running your own business, you are literally your entire life in uncertainty. You have no idea how something is going to work and you're regularly taking risks, right? So the problem is that humans tend to prefer the certainty of failure over the uncertainty of success, right? It's very reasonable. Like you want an answer to everything. Like if you're in a relationship and the person's acting weird, like you're going to be like, tell me what's wrong, because you're seeking certainty, right? You don't like uncertainty. Now, here's the thing. You can simply not exist in uncertainty as an entrepreneur. You don't have to be uncertain all the time. And I'm going to tell you how, right? Because there exists swaths of people who have already done what you are trying to do. Therefore, every set or piece or problem in any capacity, somebody else on the planet has already solved it. So, if you simply have access to those people and you are able to ask them how to solve the problem that you are encountering, you can simply just not exist in uncertainty and you can be certain because you got the answer from somebody who already solved it, right? So, and this brings me into the next section of this video that I'm going to call asymmetrically efficient decisions, right? Now, let me put it to you like this. Let me explain it to you like this, right? First, I'm going to define this. An asymmetrically efficient decision is something that immediately solves a problem or multiple problems at once. It's like like a dimension up of solving a problem. Let me give you an example of this, right? So have you ever been broken up with and like you're hurt and like it sucks and it's like, and then what would happen? You'll go get relationship advice. It's like focus on yourself and like go get a hobby and do this and this and this and work on your mind, and it's a lot of work, and like, yeah, I know it sucks. That is an inefficient way to solve this problem, right? The efficient way, the asymmetrically efficient way to solve this problem is to just go get a new fucking girlfriend. Because it solves it immediately. Like instantly, the problem is solved. You are occupied with something else. Like and it's not even like, it's not a lot of work. In fact, it's fucking zero work at all. It's an asymmetrically efficient decision, right? It just solves the shit immediately. so I'm going to relate this to some other shit. Here's a good one. If a lot of people, they are aware of the fact that you should post content on the internet to drive business. Now, the problem with posting content on the internet is that you get a bunch of idiots in the comments and people talking shit, right? So that is actually the reason people don't post content. Now, how about we just turn this into an asymmetrically efficient decision? Because someone can go, well, just don't care about it. Like don't even look at it, or just like they're not right. They're just being haters, and like, yeah. Or you could screenshot the stupid comments and send it in a group chat, or like to all your, or like post it and have a bunch of other people be like, oh yeah, that guy sucks. Oh yeah, fuck that guy, right? Because now when you get other people to start making fun of the person who is talking shit to you, now you don't give a shit, right? So this is the same reason why if you ever walk into like a club alone, you're not really loud. You don't want to draw attention to yourself because you're alone. But if you walk in with a squad of like 20 people and you have a table and you get the bottles with the flares and shit, right? You're making a lot of noise. You're drawing a lot of attention to yourself. You don't give a fuck if someone's talking shit because you have people around you. It's the same concept. It's an asymmetrically efficient decision. It solves the problem immediately with zero work. Do you see what I mean? That it is a very efficient decision. Let me give you another one. You need more leads and calls for your business. You need more sales calls booked, right? So and you're posting content. So how can we get more leads and calls and traffic without any additional work with the content we already have? And the answer is to just post the same exact content on all of the other platforms. Oh, you post on TikTok? Just post it on YouTube and Instagram as well. Like just simply do that. It's zero work. You see what I mean? Or so minuscule amount of work for an outsized return. You see what I mean? So here's another one. Say you're on sales calls and you have like this long drawn out, and you're getting like 4 or 5 sales calls a day, and you have this like long drawn out pitch, and you just have to like explain the same thing over and over and over and over. It's like super annoying to do. It's really not enjoyable at all. Here's an asymmetrically efficient decision. How about you make a video sales letter that just explains the shit? It just explains the pitch that you keep repeating yourself 4 to 5 times a day. And right when they book the call, before they get in the call, you send them the video, like, hey, make sure you watch this before the call. It explains how this all works. So you don't have to re-pitch them, and you morph the sales call as close to an order taking call as possible, right? So asymmetrically efficient decision. You do it once, you send it to every single person, right? Very, very efficient, right? So here's the last one. You're stressed about the uncertainty of your business. We already touched on this, right? So you're operating in an uncertain environment all the time because you have this problem that pops up, this one, that you don't know how to solve it because you're solving it the first time, right? So the asymmetrically efficient decision here is to just simply be with other people who have already solved the problem, right? This is why if you're on Twitter, or if you see me post it, or you see my ads or anything, or if you go on my landing pages and Client Essentials, you see all these people will get all this success, right? Because they're in a group with a bunch of other agency owners and B2B founders that make a lot of money. They've already solved the shit that you were having an issue with, It's just an asymmetrically efficient decision. Like, it's that simple. So simply be more efficient and watch this video and go to clientascension.com. The link is in the description. I love you. Goodbye. Subscribe, like the video, all of that nonsense. All right, peace.